The Disappearance of Maura Murray. It was February 9th, 2004, and the crisp winter air blanketed the town of Amherst, Massachusetts. Maura Murray, a bright and ambitious 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, seemed like she was on track for a promising future. However, in the days leading up to her disappearance, her behavior had become increasingly erratic. Just days earlier, Maura had been involved in a strange car accident near her father's house, where she had borrowed his car. The circumstances of the crash were suspicious, with no clear explanation for how it happened. On that fateful Monday, Maura woke up and made several strange decisions. She emailed her professors and work supervisor, stating she needed time off due to a fabricated family emergency. Then she packed up her dorm room, stuffing her car with clothes, textbooks, and toiletries, as if preparing for a long trip. She withdrew nearly all the money from her bank account, around $280, and purchased a variety of alcohol at a nearby liquor store. Her phone records indicated she called a number that had a recorded message about booking accommodations at hotels in New Hampshire and Vermont. Despite all these actions, Maura never told anyone where she was going. By late afternoon, Maura had begun her drive north, away from the university and away from everyone she knew. She headed toward the White Mountains of New Hampshire, an area she was familiar with from past family vacations. As night fell, the temperature dropped, and a light snow began to fall. Around 7:30 p.m., Maura's black Saturn sedan skidded off the road on a sharp curve along Route 112 in the small town of Haverhill, New Hampshire. Her car came to rest in a snowbank, and the impact caused noticeable damage, rendering it inoperable. A local resident heard the crash from her home and quickly called the police. Another neighbor, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver who lived nearby, stopped by the scene in his bus and offered to help Maura. He later reported that she seemed shaken, but was otherwise uninjured. She declined his help, insisting she had already called AAA for assistance, though no such call was ever made. Atwood left the scene, but he felt uneasy and kept an eye on Maura from his home just up the road. When police arrived approximately 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. Her car was still locked, the windshield cracked, and the airbags deployed, but there was no sign of her. Inside the vehicle, officers found an empty beer bottle and a few open alcohol containers, indicating that Maura may have been drinking. There were no tracks leading away from the car in the fresh snow, no signs of struggle, and no indications of where she might have gone. The investigation that followed was exhaustive. Search and rescue teams combed the surrounding woods and rivers. Helicopters, dogs, and even infrared technology were used, but all efforts yielded no clues. The road where Maura disappeared was surrounded by dense forest, with the temperatures dropping well below freezing at night, adding a chilling urgency to the search. The scent dogs lost her trail about 100 yards from the car, as if she had vanished into thin air. As days turned into weeks, the search for Maura turned up nothing. Investigators pieced together a fragmented picture of her final days, revealing more questions than answers. Friends and family described Maura as a quiet, focused student who had recently been struggling with personal issues, including a possible drinking problem and a disciplinary incident at school. Her family was adamant that she had not run away and believed foul play was involved. The theories about Maura's disappearance are numerous and varied. Some believe she intended to start a new life, escaping the pressures and troubles she faced at home and school. Others suggest she was abducted by someone who happened upon her in her vulnerable state after the accident. A third possibility is that she wandered off into the woods in a dazed state, succumbing to the cold and elements. Yet, despite the passage of time and ongoing speculation, no definitive evidence has surfaced. Maura Murray's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing mysteries in modern times. Every year, her family returns to the place where she was last seen, leaving posters and holding vigils in the hope that one day, answers will emerge from the cold, dark woods of New Hampshire.